Going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, we got some more news coming out. But before we get into that, I want to wish you guys a happy Friday, and you know what that means. The Story Time with Stock Market Steve live stream starts tonight at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. We'll be continuing part 2 of a story I told yesterday that happened, last week. So I have an update on the story, and it's funny as can be. And we're going to get up here and we're going to laugh like we always do and come together as family. But I've been covering, I'm going to get in this news. I've been covering the situation out there in Toledo, Ohio. Shout out Toledo, in which the young lady, 13 years old, tragically lost her life by the name of Kei'Mani Latigue. And Darnell Jones, her father, supposedly is the one that took her life horribly. And we all heard the details, the horrific details of what happened, and it's sad nonetheless. Now, last night they broke the police body cam footage, unedited, of him getting blasted and looking stupid and talking and saying a bunch of stuff out of his head. You know what I'm saying? And I showed that to you guys. Well, this is a follow-up to that because he was caught really quick after, issues of warrants for murder and kidnapping, came out. And today I'm going to talk about how he was caught so quickly and who turned him in. So take a look at this and we'll come back and talk about it.
We also have new details about the investigation into Kei'Mani's murder. Toledo police executed several search warrants, including where he lived on the east side. 13 Action News has learned it was Darnell Jones' girlfriend who helped police with evidence in the case. That woman, who asked us not to identify her, tells us Jones called her Friday and asked her to turn off the cameras at the home. She says she got suspicious and did not turn them off, and she adds she was in the bedroom when a relative saw Jones move some items from his SUV into the house and hide them under the basement stairs. She called police, who got a search warrant and then took the evidence.
What did he hide under your stairs?
It was like a mat for the back of your truck, not a pickup, but SUV. When you lay your seats down and you put that rubber mat in there to protect the back of your seats in case you're hauling something. That's what he rolled up and put in my basement. And his work boots, which were caked with mud, and he hadn't worked in a while.
She says once Jones noticed the items gone, she never saw him again. She also told us Jones called her from Columbus, and she told police where they could find him.
Now, with breaking news.
And that breaking new information tonight as we come on the air in the Kei'Mani-Latigue murder investigation. Toledo police executing several search warrants, including where the suspect, Darnell Jones, Kei'Mani's father, lived on the east side. 13 Action News learning it was Jones' girlfriend who helped police with key evidence in the case. The woman who asked that we not show her face, telling Action News Jones called her last Friday and wanted her to turn off the cameras at the home. She got suspicious and didn't turn off those cameras. She says she was in the bathroom when a relative saw Jones move some things out of his SUV, brought them into the house, and hid them under the basement stairs. She called police, who got a search warrant and took the evidence.
What did he hide under your stairs?
It was like a mat for the back of your truck, not a pickup, but SUV. When you lay your seats down and you put that rubber mat in there to protect the back of your seats in case you're hauling something. That's what he rolled up and put in my basement. And his work boots, which were caked with mud, and he hadn't worked in a while.
And she tells us once Jones noticed the items were gone, she never saw him again, but that he did call her from Columbus. And that's when she told police where to find him.
Guys, that's the way this piece of shit, Darnell Jones, was caught. After all of that shit he did to his own damn kid. 13 years old, had the rest of her life ahead of her. Already was in an unstable environment, dealing with a lot of things. And you as her father, where she should feel safe with you, you was the actual terror in her life at the point of her expiration. Violated her. Cut her hands off your own fucking kid. Cut her throat. Now you walking down the street telling the cops to kill you. You don't want death Because if that's the case, you would have killed yourself when you got that thought of violating your own fucking kid in your head. If the urge was too strong for you to resist. I'm gonna tell you something. Whether if I had mental illness or I felt as though I wanted to beat the hell out of my wife or a girlfriend or a kid that got on my nerves too much, I would remove myself from that situation or I would seek help. But you don't see this nowadays because people are so having tunnel vision and them wanting to cause destruction to others, whether it's from a sick, sadistic, sexual fantasy or a drive that they got in them or some type of thirst that they can't control. It's a bunch of bullshit. This country spends a lot of money running around chasing terrorists in other country, but we don't pay no attention to the ones that are here that tear up our own citizens. And that's real. In America, what kind of country don't take care of its citizens? The justice that they're saying people get is not real justice. They'll lock this guy up forever. But he gets to live where this child didn't. Rest of her life ahead of her. It wasn't up to him or anybody else to run and take her innocent life force from her that was given by God. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Two things stick out to me with this whole thing. And this is just how I think. And this is why I say they need to make all of these crazy killings capital offenses, and they should result in death. And it should not be no long waiting process. Once you know it's this person that did this, you take them and you dispatch them like the animals that they are. This is why. Number one is this. This guy went and did what he did to this girl, right? Left out of there all the stuff he used, the mat or whatever, dirty ass work boots. He drives. Well, but before he even drives off, he goes back to his girlfriend's house in Toledo, leaves crime scene stuff at her house, using her as a stage for the sin he committed, and he hides the stuff over there. Don't answer no question to her. So you're willing to put the sickness of your sin and the tools you use in committing said sin in somebody else's house to hide it while family members and the community mourn. And you would have went and mourned yourself at the funeral, acting like you didn't know what happened, get a lot of pat on the back and hugs, people feeling bad for you when you the cause of your daughter's own fucking imminent destruction. I want you to think about that. What kind of person is that? It's not a person, it's an animal. You moved on instinct, did what you did on instinct, and now, instinctively, you should be put the fuck down. What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? Now, all of this makes me think back, because I ain't gonna get to point two yet, but that was point two, making the family suffer, and he go act like, you know, he's stepping Stearns or some damn body and go act like he ain't know what was happening. What you think about that? You put that on a bunch of people, whether you like them or not. You was going to put that on a bunch of people that have that feeling of dread and despair, and you going to sit around and try to match their energy when you the one that created this shit. What you think about that? Then you take crime scene shit and put it in somebody else's house. Under their staircase. Your girlfriend. Somebody that trusts you as well. And you go and fucking do that shit to them. What you think about that? Cut the cameras off. What? You go into her house, cut the cameras off. Said he had a liner in the back. I guess that rubber liner in the back of a pickup truck. And dirty work boots with mud on them. That makes me think. Maybe he didn't kill her in that house. He did something somewhere else and then took her there and then took her hands off or whatever. And I don't even want to think about that shit. But it's a reality out here, people. We got motherfuckers out here that do shit and then play dumb like they didn't know nothing. And that's like the ultimate sin to me. That's the ultimate. You a wolf in sheep's clothing, but you going around the flock and trying to act like you part of the flock and you suffering too when you the ones that committed the suffering. We seeing this a lot. Motherfuckers killing their kids, men killing their damn kids, then try to act like they ain't know nothing. If you had ill intent in your mind If you couldn't shake it, you should have turned your own fucking TV off and faded to black, because nobody deserves what this little girl did. And shout out to the community. They are rallying. They're rallying. They got a couple events this week that they're going to try to raise money. And the community is really upset. And all the people you've seen coming out in support that didn't even know the family or didn't even know Kei'Mani. That's a good thing. But it shouldn't have to get to this for us all to start rallying around people. Justice system needs a major overhaul. And I swear, if I had the power to get into these type of offices, I would. And I would be a fucking terror. They kicked me out the first day because I start calling motherfuckers out. You sitting up there with your fucking pretty suits on and all this shit and with these goddamn name tags in the front, do fucking something. Another child gone. And it won't be the last. Because we'll get bombarded with more news that I'll report on. And a lot of people go on about their business because it never affects us until it affects us. From an empathetic standpoint and a standpoint of true universal reality, every time a child dies and their potential is killed, it sends a ripple effect through the universe that affects us all, whether we realize it or not. That's all I got to say. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. May Kei'Mani Latigue rest in peace. She damn sure needs it.